Hello everyone, welcome to Medis Global. This is the first subject of GS, which is ethics. Now what is ethics? Ethics refers to well-founded standards of right and wrong and what human thought to do in terms of appreciating the existence of human, animal, natural resources, ecology and environment. Then after, ethics is evaluative in nature, subjective and situation specific. Then after, the point of the ethics is not to moralize anyone and not to dictate anything. It tells what is right and what is wrong. So here the evaluative word is most important for the examination. Then after, ethical activities are altogether different activities and not similar to any kind of activities like social, legal, political, etc. Ethics is not concrete and it is a relative concept. For example, we can say that one activity is more ethical than the other activity. Then after, ethics versus morality. These are some important points here. First one is both guide the human behavior and carry the similar meaning. Then after, morality is defined as the following expected values. In expecting certain values and then following it. Here, morality is objective and not situation specific. Then morality is considered as the subset of ethics. However, there are certain situations where something is moral but not ethical. For example, a lawyer defending a hardcore criminal is moral but not ethical. Here this term is important, which is morality is the subset of ethics. Then here in general, as you can see that ethics is depending on the situation. After evaluating all the situation, you can take the decision. Whereas the moral person do not consider the situation. This is the main difference between ethical and moral person. Then after, here it is the strategy to attempt questions. Whenever we used to see the words like evaluation, examination of conduct, standards of conduct, standards of behavior, principle of conduct, evaluation of impact of action, we should understand that it is talking about the ethics. Then after, the core value of India is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means that whole world is family. Then after, here some questions are there. First one is consider the following statements regarding the definition of moral. So here 4 options are given. Here the answer is 1, 2 and 3, because as we have discussed earlier that morality is a subset of ethics but not always or not up to whole extent. So here if the question is for what is the correct statements regarding to the definition of ethical person, then all 4 options are correct. Then the next question is consider the following statements and find the correct statements. So here the second statement is ethics is evaluative in nature, which is only the true statement is given here. And once again, if the question is for the morality, then option D will be correct. So in this way you have to prepare your short notes. According to each questions you have to think the possibilities of different type of questions from one question only. Now the third question is importance of ethics lies in. These are the options. First one is making human behavior more scientific and inquiry based. Second one is helping in the enrichment and evaluation of human society. And third one is developing the regional viewpoints. These 3 options are correct. Then here it is one important question is there, which of the following are not the behaviors exhibited by moral person? First one is being insensitive to others. Then second one is having closed mind, and the third one is doing right thing. So here the correct answer is only the first option. Some of you are thinking that having closed mind is the values for moral person, but it does not mean that every times the moral person take decision for closed mind only. But yes, you can say that ethical person never take decision by closed mind, but moral person may or may not take decision by closed mind. Then after here the next question is ethics is blank. Here the three options are there. First one is a science of conduct, a set of values and standards, and evaluating the action by considering the consequences of it. So here all three options are correct. Similarly, here the third question is which one is correct? So here the correct answer is second option only. How we treat people we know is known as the morality. Now the next topic is essence of ethics. So there are two essence of ethics. First one is standards or values, and the second one is principles through which these standards or values are being implemented. So here let's see the first one, which is principle of ethics. There are 5 principles of ethics. So here the first one is the utilization approach. This approach focuses on giving maximum benefits to maximum number of individuals and minimum harm to minimum number of individuals. And basically this approach is adopted by the government departments. Then after the next one is the rights approach. Here in this approach, focus on protecting the rights of even a single individual and in general protecting the rights of human, animals, natural resources and ecology environment. All the human and animal right activities used to adopt this approach. Then after the third one is the common good approach. This approach believes that the life in a community is good and every effort should be made to strengthen that life. For example, construction of community center, public toilets, etc. Here this approach is also adopted by the government departments. Then the fourth one is fairness and justice approach. This approach focuses on all equals should be treated equally and all unequals should be treated unequally. Concept of reservation has been derived from this approach. Then the last one is the virtue approach. Here this approach focuses on the developing good habits and discarding bad habits. So these are the main 5 approaches for principles of ethics. Then after the next topic is values and standards for the ethics. Here this diagram is most useful for remembering these 5 points which are given below the diagram. So known information convert into the belief, then all the expected beliefs are known as values, then values make the attitude, in general attitude govern the behavior, and there are certain situations where behavior is based on the certain external factors and not on the attitude. Then whenever there is mismatch between the attitude and behavior, that is known as the cognitive dissonance. Then after the types of the value system, first one is individual value system. This value system is developed on account of values received from the family, education, culture, tradition, religion and society, etc. Then the second one is work specific value system. This value system is developed on account of different requirements of the workplace, for example the public service value system. Then the third one is country specific value system. This value system is developed on account of a requirement of fruitful interactions of different individuals and organization of the country. Then last one is universal value system. This value system is developed on account of having fruitful interactions among different countries. That is, it is a set of common values which are accepted by all the countries or which were accepted by all the countries. Then here some notes are there. First one is values are accepted by any society for its benefit. Then values are not constant except the universal values. Then value judgment of any society depend on the 3 factors. So factor A, which is purposiveness, it is defined as utility of the value. Then factor B, which is deliberateness, it is defined as the reach of the value. And third one is rationality, which is defined as the logic for accepting or rejecting any value. Then if any society accepts any value, then order of the importance of these three factors are like A greater than C greater than B, and if any society rejects any value, then the order of these three factors are B greater than A greater than C. For example, first of all, deliberateness of the value is being decreased, then its utility is being questioned, and finally the rationality for accepting the value is lost and the society rejects the value. Then here some questions are there. First one is, consider the following statements which are correct. So here the option 3 and 5 are correct, that rationality and deliberateness are the factors for the value judgment of the society, and cognitive dissonance can create psychological disturbances. Then after, here universal values are there. In that, first one is trustworthiness. It is defined as the ability to predict the future behavior of any individual or organization. Belief, mutuality, and predictability are always associated with trustworthiness. These are four sub-values of trustworthiness: honesty, integrity, reliability, and the loyalty. As you all know, honesty is known as, it has two parts. First one is honesty in communication, and the second one is honesty in action. Similarly, for the integrity, it is derived from the word integer. For example, something which cannot be infraction. Then once again it includes two parts. First one is intellectual integrity and the second one is financial integrity. Here, for example, a person should not change his or her own stand in similar situations is the example of intellectual integrity. Then after, in the financial integrity, a person holding the public post should not use his or her post for the financial benefit of the self or for the family. Then third one is reliability. It is the ability to keep up the promises made up by any individual or organization, and the loyalty, it is defined as ability to protect the interest of any individual or organization beyond the normal obligation. Then next one is respect. It is defined as the appreciating the existence of others, and there are two sub-values of respect. First one is dignity and the second one is tolerance. Then after, the next one is responsibility. Here it is defined as the fulfilling the expectations of the society by defining the role, and responsibility is considered as formal in nature. Here this formal in nature is important for the examination, and obligation is informal in nature. These two MCQs can be asked in the examination. Then after, there are three sub-values of responsibility. First one is accountability, then after pursuit of excellence, then after perseverance. So here accountability, it is defined as the answerability of actions performed by any individual or organization. Then pursuit of excellence, it is defined as continuous improvement or development to achieve the excellence. Then third one is perseverance. It is defined as the courageous persistence in spite of having various odds or obstacles. Then after, next one is fairness and justice. Here all equals should be treated equally and all unequal should be treated unequally. Then impeccability, it is defined as unbiased approach towards anything, for example following the well established practices rather than discretion. And the next one is care. Here four main terms are there. First one is apathy, then sympathy, then empathy and compassion. So sympathy is defined as the momentary and spontaneous kindness. Then empathy is defined as the feeling the pain or emotion of others, and compassion is defined as doing something to remove or moderate the pain of others. Here also you can say that empathy in action. Then the next one is citizenship. It comprises of rights, duties and mechanism to enforce the duties and protect the rights. Here notes are there. First one is, these are some elements which always get associated with all the universal values. Consistency, holistic in approach, then considering wider consequences, then line of order or authority, then acceptance, then comprehensive. Then next one is the dimension of lower value cannot be the higher value. So first one is responsibility is greater than that of honesty or integrity, that is greater than that of loyalty, and then the last one is reliability. Similarly for compassion is greater than that of empathy, greater than that of sympathy. Now some questions are there. First one is, which of the following can be considered as dimension of integrity? The answer is consistency and considering the wider consequences. Then after upkeeping the promises, these three options are correct. Then after, which of the following can be considered as character traits of moral person? So here the answer is reliability and the trust. Compassion is also there for the moral person. You can remember this term. Then after here one more note is there. Character traits of moral or ethical person is equal to universal values. If in previous questions the courageous is one of the options, then it is right for the moral person, but physically courageous is not right for the moral person. Then the next term is attitude. Attitude is defined as the state of mind or intention to do anything. There are three components of attitude. First one is affective, second one is behavior, and the third one is cognitive. Here affective, it refers to ambitions or feelings. Then behavior, it refers to past behavior or experience, and third one is cognitive, which refers to belief or knowledge. If any person is having strong attitude, then these three components get converted into one component, which is the cognitive component. These three components are also known as ABC component of the attitude. So you have to remember these three components also. Then after, function of attitude. In that, first point is ego defensive mechanism. These are four functional elements of this mechanism. Here as you can see that first one is denial. It is completely denying the unfavorable facts to protect the ego. Then second one is repression. It is opposite of depression. Some favorable moments are created to come out of the depression. Then C, which is projection. It is the projecting the liability on others to defend the ego. And the last one is rationalization. It is making the logic of failure to defend the ego. Then after, ego versus arrogance. It is the extra protecting the ego by harming the others. Second function of attitude is value expression. It is defined as expression. It is defined as expressing the core values. Core values used to guide other values of individual or organization. For example, the core value of India, which is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Value aggression is opposite of value expression. Then after, third function of the attitude is knowledge. Here the application of the information for the benefit of self and others is the knowledge. Then note that aptitude with training is known as ability and with practice is known as the skills. Here, aptitude is defined as the future ability of any individual or organization, and aptitude get converted into ability by suitable training and into skill by practice. Then after the next note is both attitude and aptitude are required in the public service. However, if we need to choose one over another, then attitude can be preferred. Then after the major difference between efficient and effectiveness, for example, if we are preparing for the theory of machines, for example, if you are preparing for the theory of machines from wrong book, then your efficiency will be there, but your effectiveness will be not there, because for effectiveness you have to do the right thing, and efficiency is related with anything but doing it correctly. So these are the major difference between the effectiveness and efficiency. Then one question is there: if in a family education is respected, then children will have natural inclination towards education. This shows the relationship between the answer is aptitude and value. Period. So these are some basic information about ethics in which we have discussed what is ethics, what is morality, then after some questions of ethics versus morality, then after some values for the ethics and principles of ethics, then after we have discussed some universal values, and at the end we have discussed about the attitude, efficiency, effectiveness. So this is part 1 for the ethics. In next part we'll discuss about what is the importance of ethics in the engineering, which is most useful for the examination. In this part we have included just basic information about the ethics, but this information you should know before the importance of ethics in engineering. So do like and subscribe for the upcoming videos, which is the ethics in engineering. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, welcome to Medicine Global. This is the second part of ethics. In this lecture we will discuss about what is the importance of ethics in engineering. Now first of all, why ethics in engineering is needed. Here engineering has vital impact on the quality of life of citizens. Due to the use of various ICT in the governance and due to requirement of providing the public service at the doorsteps of citizen with 24/7 presence and 360-degree approach, the role of public service engineers have become important in the provisioning of public service. Here public service engineers have more public life than the private life and need to follow 7 principles of public life. Here these 7 principles public service engineers must have to follow. First principle is selflessness, then after the integrity, then after the honesty, then after accountability, then after objectivity, then after openness, and the last one is leadership. So we have discussed most of these principles in the previous video, so you can check out that video. So let's move on to other topics. Here one note there: character traits of public service engineers or public servant is equals to universal values plus 7 principles of public life plus industrial plus competence or capability plus far-sightedness plus political impartiality plus non-partisanship plus civil service neutrality plus dedication towards public service. Here, political impartiality means serving the position rather than the person, and non-partisanship means not to get involved into any political activities and not to contest any election. Then after civil service neutrality is equals to political impartiality plus non-partisanship. This note is useful in the examination. Then after accountability in the public service, there are 3 elements of accountability in the public service. First one is compassion, then after responsiveness, and the third one is transparency. Once again, compassion and responsiveness we have discussed earlier in the video. So here transparency, it includes, there are total 3 elements of transparency. First of all, it is defined as the mechanism where there is no difference between the government and the citizen as far as information are considered. Then these are the 3 elements of transparency. First one is awareness, then after accessibility, and the third one is authenticity. Here note that transparency makes the citizen informed enough to take the informed decisions. And then after, the next one is public-private partnership, which is known as PPP. Here it is done in the case of where government does not have the fund or technical capacity or expertise to execute any project. It is not done specifically to increase the transparency. We used to do the PPP through these terms. These 3 terms are here. First one is BOOT, means build, own, operate and transfer, which is related with the infrastructure. Then after, next one is BOT, which is for build, operate and transfer, which is related with telecommunication. And third one is DBOT, means design, build, operate and transfer, which is related with R&D. Then after, third topic is public private people partnership. This 4P is being done to increase the transparency. For example, community led development programs. Then after, here one question is there: which of the following are measures to increase the transparency in the public service? So first one is by making the citizen informed, then after by strengthening the public institutions so that this become accessible. Then after, next point is problems of enforcing accountability in public service in India. Here first one is Article 311, which states that this article makes the removal of permanent executives somewhat difficult. However, this article is desirable so that political interference can be avoided and permanency in the nature of job permanent executive can be maintained. Then, due to less fear in the minds of employees, it is difficult for the government to enforce the accountability. So accountability is also known as answerability. Then the next point is excessive fragmentation of departments. Here there are various departments which are working for the same cause. Then lack of coordination among these 3 departments make the work of the government difficult in enforcing the accountability. For example, transportation in India is being dealt by 3 ministries or departments like Ministry of Railways, then Ministry of Surface Transportation and Ministry of Civil Aviation. Then after, third point is massive bureaucracy. So here it is due to large number of departments, bureaucracy has become very massive and rigid. Then after, fourth one is specialized nature of public service. Here public service is being approved by state only and it is difficult for the outsiders to know the technicalities of the public service, and due to this, it is difficult to make the permanent executives accountable. Then last one is corruption. Here corruption is difficult to define as it is so much mixed with the society that is almost impossible to separate it out and to study it in isolation. Here corruption is also linked with the wealth creation. Second, Administrative Reforms Commission fourth report has developed an equation to reduce the corruption in public service. Here corruption is equals to autonomy plus discretion accountability. So for reducing the corruption, discretion should be reduced to minimum possible level, and to reduce the corruption, accountability need to be increased to the maximum possible level. Here 100% accountability is not desirable in the public service as it creates hurdles for new initiatives. Then after types of corruption, first one is coercive corruption. In this type of corruption, bribe is being taken forcefully and bribe receiver make a person a bribe giver. Then after second one is collusive corruption. In this type of corruption, both bribe giver and bribe receiver act in collusion and make laws to the government or the bribe giver is exchanged at more advantageous position. Then framework available in the country to fight against the corruption. Here first one is legislative framework. It is the Prevention of Corruption Act 1998. 1988 is the only framework available in the India to fight against the corruption. This act has the three organs of the state. Here corruption has not been defined in the act. However, various procedures are described to contain corruption. Here institutional framework includes three types. First one is CVC means Central Vigilance Commission. Then after second one is CVD means Chief Vigilance Officer. And third one is Central Bureau Investigation. Here as you can see that CVC means Central Vigilance Commission. It is an apex body to fight against the corruption done by permanent executives. CVC does not have the pure view over legislature, political executives and judiciary. Second one is CVO means Chief Vigilance Officer. Here every department of ministry is having one Chief Vigilance Officer. CVO act as an intermediate between the CVC and the HOD. Then the recommendation of CVO can be changed or rejected by the HOD. Here CVO can send the recommendation to CVC, and if CVC rectifies the recommendation of CVO, then it becomes mandatory for the HOD to accept it. Then after CBI, which is Central Bureau of Investigation. CBI derives its power from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. CBI has the pure view over the legislature, executive and lower judiciary. However, CBI cannot initiate actions against legislature and political executives without taking prior approval from the Home Ministry. There are three departments under CBI. First one is Anti-Corruption Wing, second one is Economic Offence Wing, and third one is Special Crime Branch. Here Anti-Corruption Wing, it takes the cases of low value corruption, generally less than 100 crores. Then Economic Offence Wing takes cases at high value corruption, and Special Crime Branch, it takes cases other than the corruption cases. Then here one question is there. Consider the following statements which is correct. So here none of the option is correct. Then after next topic is benchmarking of public service. It is defined as fixing the minimum standards for the public service delivery. Then public service is intangible in nature and need to be standardized by fixing various quality parameters to the public service. There are 6 elements to benchmark the public service. First one is R means reliability. It is confidence in proving the uninterrupted public service. And A is for assurance, which is confidence in providing the public service at any cost. Then T is for tangible, which is physical validation of public service by associating various quality parameters like water and air quality parameters. Then E for empathy, R for responsiveness, and E for effectiveness. Here once again, empathy, responsiveness and effectiveness we have discussed in part 1. After the next topic is types of organization. There are 3 types of organization in any economy or country. First one is state, after profit making company, and the third one is not for profit companies. So here the motive of the state is to do the governance, then the motive of the PMC is to earn profit or profit maximization. This includes the PSU, means public service undertakings, and NFPC is to assist the state in understanding the various problems of public service and in doing the public oriented services. Here for example, it includes NGO and civil societies, etc. These are the diagrams for the relationship among the state, PMC and NFPC. That the ideal relationship, then in the second one, it is 1947 to 1991, state was inclined towards the NFPC, and from 1991 to 2010, state became somewhat inclined towards the PMC. Then the effectiveness of the governance is based on how well state is maintaining the relation between PMC and NFPC. Then there are 3 types of work done by the state during the process of governance. First one is policy making, then after policy implementation, and third one is policy feedback or policy restructuring. Then here the full form of NGT and NJAC is also useful for the examination. First one is NGT stands for National Green Tribunal and NJAC stands for National Judicial Appointment Commission. Then after types of administration. Here the first one is administration between the state and citizen. It is one-way process where state used to control the citizens. Then second one is governance. It is a two-way process. State connects with the citizen with the word regulate, and citizens with state with the word participate at the policy feedback level. Then good governance. It is also two-way process. Then fourth one is smart governance. It is also two-way process. Here between state and citizen, responsiveness is there, and involvement at policy feedback, implementation and making level. Then here one note is there. The difference between the involvement and the participation is belongingness. Here belongingness means the considering something as your own. Then after responsiveness is defined as the ability to react quickly and timely. Then facilitation means the regulations with extending help to citizens. Then fourth one is we claim that we are smart governance level currently. And fifth one is the word governance become popular in India after 1997. Then good governance after 2002 and smart governance after 2014. Then the word governance was coined by World Bank. Here World Bank was formed to help those countries which required infrastructural development, and IMF, which means International Monetary Fund, it is
there to help which were facing balance of payment crisis. Here BOP means balance of payment. Here BOP is equals to export minus import plus or minus investments plus or minus invisibles. So if we consider investments and the invisibles as constant and import is greater than that of export, then BOP will be negative. So for the negative BOP, IMF was developed. Then after SDR, which is for special drawing right currency, and they have made first ever 5 currencies. First one is US dollar, then after euro, then pound, then yuan, and the next one is yen. Then currency printing should be up to the GDP, and US can print any number of currencies. So these are some notes you have to remember. Then at the end, 2 questions are there. Consider the following statement with reference to difference between the good governance and smart governance. As we have discussed earlier, the answer is facilitation and ability to react quickly, as well as participation and belongingness. Then after, consider the following statements which are the correct statement. Here all given options are correct. Then one more question is there. Then one more question from the previous part, which is consider the following statements which are correct. So here we have discussed in the previous part that ethics is evaluative in nature. So basic portions we have discussed in the previous lecture, and in this lecture we have discussed about the importance of ethics in the engineering point of view. So this is all about the ethics. In next video we will discuss some previous questions about the ethics in engineering. So to subscribe and share this video to the maximum study groups. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, welcome to Medicine Global. Today we are discussing some previous year questions of the ethics. Here the first question on your screen now. Which one of the following is not characteristic of good governance and e-governance that are closely linked and depend on each other? You can take 5 seconds for this question, because if you know the correct answer then you can give this answer in only 4 to 5 seconds. Otherwise you cannot answer these theoretical questions. So here let me tell you the answer. The answer will be option C, consciousness. The detailed solution is also given here. You can take a screenshot if you want. Now moving towards the next question. The question number 2 was also asked in 2020. So here the question is, the basic difference between a professional and an amateur is. So as you can see here, the question from the ethics are sometimes too much easier and sometimes too much difficult from the ethics portion. So yes, you can read the books for the ethics, but you have to use your general knowledge or your common sense for the questions of the ethics. So here the answer will be option A is correct answer, which states that a professional is someone who is connected with a job that needs special training or skill, while an amateur is someone who works in multi-dimensions without any specialization. So in the ASC examination you have to keep one thing in mind, that is you have to manage your time according to the questions, because here most of the questions you can solve in 4 to 5 seconds based on your knowledge and based on your IQ. So you have to skip that questions which require more time, because there are 100 questions in 2 hours. Now the third question is, the basic ethical principle of beneficence states that. You can think for some time here. 4 options are given. So yes, here the correct option is once again option A is correct answer. All our thoughts and the actions must be directed to ensure that others benefit from these thoughts and the actions. Now let's move towards the next question. Here the fourth question is, which one of the following is not the skill needed in the workplace of the future for inventive thinking using information and communication technology in education? Here 4 options are given. 3 of them are the skills needed for inventive thinking, but one option is incorrect. So you have to choose the incorrect one, because here the question is which is not required. So here the correct answer is responsibility. Option B is correct option for this question. So as you can see here, these 4 skills are required for the innovative thinking in digital age. Adaptability or ability to manage, then curiosity or desire to know as fuel for lifelong learning, then after creativity, and the last one is risk taking. So you can take a screenshot if you want. Now moving towards the next question. Question number 5. Utilitarianism in the professions ethics is. Here the 4 options are given. You can think for some while. So yes, option D is correct. A judgment of an action by consequences of that action, that is known as utilitarianism. So remember this word. This word is new for most of the students. Now moving towards the next question. Question number 6, which was asked in 2020. In the professional ethics, the degree of safety proposed to be attained varies with. Here 4 options are there. Here you have to think critically because option B and C are similar. So I'll give you a hint. From these 2 options, one option is correct. Now think critically. So yes, option B is correct for this question, which is cost of risks, then design and the utility. Now the next question is question number 7. Which of the following are the main functions of WTO? Here first of all you have to know that what is WTO. Here WTO stands for World Trade Organization, and these all 3 are the main functions of the WTO. So here the correct option is option D. Option 1, 2 and 3, all 3 are correct. Now the next question is, the philosophical study of beliefs and knowledge is better known as. Here 4 options are there. Option A, ontology, then epistemology, then entomology and etymology. So yes, here the correct answer is option B, which is epistemology, which is related with the study of knowledge. You can take a screenshot of these 3 different words also. Now moving towards the next question, which is, one branch of ethical philosophy claims that it is possible to know right from wrong or good from bad in a very clear and objective manner is called. 4 options are given here. Once again, this question is from basics portion. So yes, the correct answer is option C, cognitivism. Now let's move towards the next question, question number 10. Here consider the following statements regarding the engineering ethics. 4 options are given here. First one is, it is the activity of understanding the moral values. Then second one is, it revolves the moral issues and justifies the moral judgments. Then third one is, it would refer to the set of specifically moral problems and issues related to engineering. So here you have to choose the correct statements from the above statements. So yes, here option A will be correct. All 3 options are correct for this question. Now let's move towards the next question. Which of the following are the attributes of a profession? Here first one is, the work requires sophisticated skills, use of judgment and exercise of discretion. Then second one is, Membership in the profession does not require extensive formal education as well as practical training. Then third one is there are set of standards for admission to the profession and conduct for members. Then fourth one is significant public good results from practice of the profession. Here you have to select the correct answer using the codes given below. So you can think for some seconds here. Here the correct answer is option C. Here the second statement is wrong and all the other statements are right given here in this question, because this question is related with the profession. So these three statements are correct. Because as you all know, for the profession you need to require the practical training as well as some important skills for the membership in the profession. This question was asked in the ESE 2019. Now let's move towards the next question. When should whistleblowing be attempted? Here four options are there. First one is there must be a clear and great harm that can be avoided. Then second one is the whistleblower must be in clear position to report on the problem. Then third one is the whistleblower must have a reasonable chance of success in stopping the harmful activity. And the last one is the whistleblower feels that all other lines of the action within the context of the organization have been explored and shut off. Here you have to select the correct options. So once again, here for this question, all four options are correct for the whistleblowing. This question was also asked in the year 2018. So this type of assertion type or the correct statements type questions were asked so many times in the examination. You need to just be conceptually strong. Now let's move towards the next question. PQLI is based on these four options are given. So first of all, you have to know what is the full form of PQLI. So as you can see here, PQLI stands for Physical Quality of Life Index. So here based on these four options, option A, infant mortality, life expectancy and adult literacy rate. This is correct for this question. Now let's move towards the next question. HDI is better index of development because these four options are given. Option A, GDP growth may not consider the personal growth situations, then it takes into consideration reduction of poverty. Then option C, it covers income, health and education aspects of development. And option D, it covers promotion of growth. So here the correct option is option C. Now let's move towards the next question. IPR protects the use of information and ideas that areas of. Four options are here. Option A, ethical value. Option B, moral value. Option C, social value. And option D, commercial value. You can think for 2 to 3 seconds because this is very easy question related with IPR. Yes, here the correct answer is option D, commercial value. Now let's move towards the next question. A whistleblower is someone who. These are four options. Option A, visual classical music. Then option B, inform on any illegal, unethical or corrupt activity going on in the organization. And the option C is it is adept in whistling. And option D is boasts about himself or herself. So here the correct answer will be option B. Similar to this type of question was asked in 2019 also. So this is important concept, whistleblower. Now the next question is, what is nepotism? This is also very easy question. Option A is undermining the moral of workers. Then option B is harassment of women workers. Option C, being autocratic and decision making. Then option D is hiring friends or relative and showing favorism in the work. So yes, option D is definitely the correct answer for this question, because nepotism is related with the favorism, or you can say that the favoritism. So this is all about some important questions from the ethics portion. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe to our channel for the upcoming videos, and please share this video to the maximum study groups. Thank you so much.